So we're in Wandsworth, southwest London, revisiting this 4,500 square foot, beautiful 6-bedroom, 5-bathroom house. The kitchen is massive. It's got one of the biggest kitchen islands I've ever seen. I can't wait to show you. Let's go. Well, thank you very much for letting us into your home. This is absolutely incredible. I love how light and bright it is. We've got the crystal style doors that light in from that reception room as well, which is great, nice and open plan. And then just at the foot of the stair, as you sort of get a glimpse of the big kitchen island, you've got more crystal doors that let even more light into this hallway and allow you to see all the way through to the rest of the property, which is amazing. I love the cornicing, the ceiling rose, this light fitting is just, yeah, incredible. So in these types of properties, it's on the market at the moment. You've staged the whole house, which looks incredible. Is this stuff that you've sourced yourself? Did you have an interior designer to come in to help with all of this?
Yeah, staging is vitally important. I think that needs to be repeated.
Definitely.
To anyone that's in the space. I found over the years that renting is incredibly expensive, and so I've just built up an inventory.
Let's head on through to the kitchen.
WC.
Wow, very nice.
Just something a bit more playful.
And all of this sanitaryware, where's that from?
It's all from Lusso stone.
Lusso stone?
The entire property.
Amazing. Tell us about the kitchen. What are your favourite pieces and where's it from? And how big is this island, by the way?
It was much bigger.
Yeah.
Well, one, I never liked that break in the stone.
Mm-hmm.
And two, we just felt like the space was probably a bit more flexible. Yeah, it gave an option which came from the agent actually. Mm-hmm. There may be a preference to change this area into kind of a little nook. So
TV snug.
Exactly, or a snug, so that parent or caregiver could be watching the children whilst they're preparing some food. So we made it a bit smaller. This dining table could potentially sit over there.
Or rotate around here.
Yeah. That's what we always try and think about, like keeping the space flexible.
Yeah. I mean, how big is, when you say a break in the marble, at what point does it get too long that a new piece of marble needs to be?
I think standard size slab is 3 meters by 1.5.
Cool.
You can get some jumbo at 3.6 by 1.8. Yeah. But anything after that, and you're going to have a C one.
And this is?
This is 3 by 1.5.
And Miele appliances, is that Miele throughout, so Miele hob as well, or is this a different? Yeah, okay, Miele hob. Downdraft extractor, and we've got a huge piece of glazing above us, which we can't walk past and not talk about. I mean, this lets in so much light. I don't recall, which way is south?
South is over here.
Just there, yeah, so this is going to let in so much light in the summer, when the sun is out.
Look at it, even on a gloomy day like this, when you're stood here, and especially when you're stood.
Let's light down into there as well.
Yeah. So it's 12 square meters.
You know how much that one cost? You recall?
I think somewhere in the region of 20,000.
I mean, to me that might sound like a lot of money, but actually, like the amount of added value it brings to this space and down below, and even if you were roofing that in a normal flat roof, it might still cost you 12, 14 grand in actual materials to do a flat roof that isn't glazing. So to get the extra value of having all of this light and the sense of airiness that you get, it's just well worth paying for.
Having said that, I kind of agree with what you're saying, but I mean, I wouldn't put it in any other project.
No. So this is completely fresh dig.
We had a natural lower ground floor, which we kept at the front.
Yep.
Of course, where we are, it's a simple commercial calculation. The more space, the higher the value.
Yep.
Up to a certain point.
And basements, you might pay £300 to £400 a square foot to dig a basement, but in areas where you're £8,000–9,000 a square foot, that's an easy math to do. You're getting double your money back on the spend.
One of the key things to always keep in mind when building a basement, in terms of design, is to break up the space. Like, it's very easy to end up with one big
massive
open space, which is quite hard to use. So we opted, put an office in this section, still keeping the flow and kind of the connection back to the rest of the space.
And then I can see an amazing feature of this basement, which I know was a key thing that you wanted from day one, which is this wine room.
Right. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I think for me, probably more of box ticking exercise for what people may come to expect.
Yep.
In a house of this size and at price level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just think if it was me and it was my house, I'd probably use this space as like a sauna, cold plunge.
And this is an amazing feature. Is this structural?
No.
This is just feature fireplace with the bioethanol.
Exactly. No flue. No worrying about routing toxic gases, because there are none.
Yep.
It's completely environmentally
Healthy,
friendly.
environmentally friendly, sustainable. Very good. Amazing. So just sneak onto this side of the fireplace. You've got a nice snug area, big TV on the wall. I mean, this is such a nice area just to sit and chill.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it's meant to be, right? People need to come in and feel like, see themselves and their family, like sit down and.
I mean, one thing I do love about this is, you know, the big sliding doors behind us. Even though we are a basement level down, there's so much lateral light coming in from those, but also that roof light that we talked about above, just letting so much light down that staircase, which is incredible.
It's quite easy to say, oh, why don't I have a bit more space and have a little bit of a smaller light bulb, but it has such a huge impact on the way this room feels.
Yeah.
It goes from being a room in the basement and that office as well to feeling more like a low ground floor space.
So we're on the first half landing is probably the best way of explaining it.
It's no good description.
Yeah. But this is one of the the things we did to add maximum square footage. You know, we talked about downstairs trying to split the levels as much as you could to get the head height to add additional floor in, and this is kind of one of the great areas that we've managed to do that. So we've got 2 bedrooms here, 2 en suites. How does this space work for you?
Yeah, it works really well. Of course, as you said, like we're trying to maximize square footage. These would probably be children's bedrooms, both en suite. One even has a terrace.
Would like to see that terrace.
Sure.
It's a miserable day out there, but it is a lovely space, and in the summer I imagine this is incredible. So while we're here actually looking out at the garden, we actually got planning approval at the end of the garden to put the gym, the studio, the home office, whatever you want to call it, and that's again added more square footage essentially to the resale value.
Right. Dressed it as a yoga studio, but it's got a kitchenette. Actually, I wouldn't call it a kitchenette, it's a full kitchen. It's got oven and a hob, and a fridge, and a full bathroom. So it's very flexible. It's very flexible.
So up to probably the most incredible space in this house, which is the principal bedroom. I know we had a lot of fun designing this. With various different guises, different ways of laying out the room. I think the way that it's ended up is incredible. This is obviously one huge massive space, which is purely the bedroom area. Got a seating area at the front. So we've got these 2 windows letting loads of light in, and all of the rest of the principal bedroom is up here, which we'll see in a minute. We've got the walk-in wardrobe and then the 4-piece massive bathroom. What's your favorite thing about this whole suite?
It flows really well. We've got the split level, breaking up the space up to the dresser, incorporating the traditional cornicing, but mixing it with false ceiling, hiding the AC. It's just a great space that.
I've only just noticed this actually, the cornicing and the uplights. That's a nice touch. Let's have a look at the walk-in wardrobe.
The joinery in here was the same cost as all of the secondary bedroom joinery.
Yeah. And you can see, that the finish is just incredible. It's like a textured kind of woven linen finish, yeah. And yes, I remember coming into this room where it was a bare shell.
The most nervous room on plan.
Yeah.
This was the most nervous.
Because of the height and the roof slope.
It was scary. It looked like, how is this going to work? How is it going to feel?
Yep.
But actually,
it works.
It really
works well.
It really works. It feels so spacious. We recognize
so much light.
So much light. We recognise that, of course, we want to keep ourselves central to the room, and so you guys designed this central.
Just helps break up the space and give a backdrop for the sink, and I think it works really well. Did you go for a double shower?
No,
single shower.
Yeah. But back to that. This breaks up the space perfectly, and now it just feels incredibly spacious.
Nice. So this part of the building was part of the 2-story sort of rear extension. So we've got the bedroom below us with the terrace, And then this is the, the roof space of that 2-story element. And that was again part of maximizing the massing planning approval, seeing what the neighbors have done with the size of the extensions next door, and then trying to push the boundaries as much as possible to get you as much square footage as possible in the property. It worked really well. And we mentioned earlier, Lusso stone finishes, Lusso stone baths, sanitaryware, and the tiles are a porcelain finish.
Yes.
So Aura achieved planning approval here to convert what was a semi-detached block of 3 flats. We extended the basement into the garden space, 2-story extension to the rear, single-story infill to the right with an amazing roof light, and created 4,500 square feet of space. So the total time frames from start to finish, from putting a spade in the ground to being a completed property like we see behind me, was 18 months.